Naging mainit nga na talakayan sa bansang Pilipinas ang pangkat nga ng mga kasundaluhan na lalabanan na nga ang pangkat ni Castro na ito. Dito nga natin mapapagtanto na talagang hindi na nga rin maganda ang ginagawa ni Castro na ito sa bansa natin dahil pinagloloko ang taong bayan. Dito nga natin makikita na talagang alipin nga ni Kuting ng Norte ito si Castro na ito na talagang pilit na pinapabagsak ang bansang Pilipinas. Ngayon nga ay talagang maraming men in uniform ang handa ng makipagbakbakan sa mga tiwaling grupo na ito dahil talagang kawawa ang bansang Pilipinas sa kanilang pamumuno. Kaya naman ngayon ay talagang hindi napapakawalan ng mga men in uniform ang pangkat ni Castro na ito dahil hindi sila nararapat na mamuno sa bansa natin. Kaya naman maraming netizen ang talagang nagulat ang susuportahan ang adhikain ng mga kasundaluhan laban nga sa makaliwang grupo. Panoorin nga natin ang buong video. At kung bago ka pa lang sa aking channel, huwag kalimutan i-click ang subscribe button at notification bell para lagi kang updated sa ating mga talakayan.
We'll share to everyone the significant accomplishments of the NTLCAC insofar as the PLEDS cluster is concerned, the focused military operation. So kami po ay nandito. In behalf of the STRATCOM cluster, I'd like to thank you all. Hindi naman po namin magagawa yung trabaho namin sa STRATCOM cluster kung hindi nyo kami tutulungan, kayong mga kasamahan natin sa media, because you all know how organized the left is, no? How active their propaganda component is to pillory and attack the NTF-ELCAC, call for its abolition at every single time. And your dedication and commitment to your work, wherein you help the public and you help us understand the issues para makapagdesisyon ang ating mga kababayan ng tama. Despite all of this propaganda, it would not have been possible without the support of our friends from the media. So happy anniversary to NTF-ELCAC and thank you to our colleagues from the Defense Press Corps and to our friends from the media.
All right, thank you. Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya. Yes, may good news si Colonel Services Trinidad later on. But before I give him to you, I'd like to remind our friends in the media that you'll be entitled to a question and a follow-up during the open forum, immediately after the last speaker had spoken. All right, so nabanggit ni ADG Malaya yung incessant, persistent calls for abolition. Ito ang sagot ng NTF-ELCAC, Colonel Services Trinidad. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Edco. And magandang hapon po sa ating lahat at sa ating mga media friends present. And of course, to the members of the panel headed by our Undersecretary Torres Jr., sir. Good afternoon. In behalf of the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., I would like to read out the prepared statement. And I quote, "Today marks the 6th anniversary of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, a momentous occasion where we celebrate our progress towards achieving stable internal peace and security within our nation. Over the past 6 years, significant advancements have been made with regions such as Ilocos, Zamboanga, Peninsula, and Davao, alongside 36 provinces and 9 cities, reaching stable internal peace and security status. These achievements signals a transformative shift from conflict to peace building and development. A key highlight of our effort is the remarkable reduction of guerrilla fronts across the country. This success underscores the effectiveness of our comprehensive government approach to counterinsurgency, bringing us closer to the goal of declaring zero active efforts or active guerrilla fronts. We stand on the tip of a new era of peace and stability. In addition to our counterinsurgency efforts, the AP has made significant strides in enhancing our territorial defense capabilities, and we have strengthened our maritime and aerial surveillance, ensuring that our territorial waters and airspace are well protected. Our modernization programs have equipped our forces with advanced technology and state-of-the-art equipment, enabling us to respond swiftly and effectively to any kinds of threats, foreign and domestic. Furthermore, the AP has been at the forefront of humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations. Our soldiers have provided critical support during natural disasters, ensuring the safety and well-being of our fellow Filipinos. Their dedication to service, even in the face of adversity, is truly commendable. Thank you for joining us today in this press con.
Thank you very much, Colonel Sorces Trinidad, the Public Affairs Office Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're now opening the floor for your questions. Kindly approach the microphone, introduce yourself. Question? All right.
No. Sir, may target tayo na Senate before na we're aiming to defeat insurgency before the end of the year. Nasa na tayo sa campaign na yon, and are we still confident na marireach natin yung goal na yon?
All right. So the question is, may target tayo, no, na 0 by the end of the year? From Victor Reyes, sir, who's going to answer that? Colonel, would you or si Sidir na? Sidir. All right.
Thank you for that question, kasamang Victor Reyes. Good to see you again. During the last conference that I've attended, it was reported that we have 0 active guerrilla fronts already, only 4 weekend guerrilla fronts. So the last time I checked, recently, of the 4 remaining weekend guerrilla fronts, 3 are about to be declared for dismantling already. It is already at the national level for validation. So leaving it only 1 guerrilla front. So as to your question on ending insurgency, no, yun, what we are talking about here is the guerrilla fronts that are being dismantled, yun yung 0. To me, to the National Task Force LCAC, we believe that lasting peace is the price of eternal vigilance. Hence, we have to be always be vigilant and not to be complacent kahit na 0 active guerrilla fronts na yung kinukompronta natin. So that is why we reviewed our campaign for the past 5 years, and we've been very, very successful. Just imagine, from 89 active guerrilla fronts when the NTF-LCAC was established in December 4 of 2018. So right now, after 6 years, there is 0 active guerrilla front and only, in effect, 1 weekend guerrilla front remaining. So based on our assessment from our previous campaign, we came up with a new National Action Plan for Unity, Peace, and Development. So instead of, there will be a recalibration of the way we conduct things and implement our programs, activities, and the projects. So when during the past 5 years, it was heavier on security matters, we would be shifting now our focus more on peace building and socio-economic development. So that is the shift that we are going to experience in the coming days. But it doesn't mean really that, if we really want to enjoy lasting peace, we cannot afford to be complacent. So meaning the mechanism of whole of government approach, whole of nation participation, founded on good governance, utilizing or employing the 12 lines of efforts or national clusters of the NTF-LCAC would still remain. So yun lang, yun yung ating gagawin in the coming days. And we are happy to inform you that this National Action Plan for Unity, Peace, and Development was already approved by the President during the 6th Executive Committee meeting last November 8 in Malacanang in the presence of the Cabinet Secretary, members of the Executive Committee of the NTF-ELCAC. So after that approval, almost a month ago, we came up with this document which I showed you earlier, which will serve as our guide as we move forward in attaining lasting peace and sustainable development. Thank you.
Sir, just a quick follow-up, sir. Sir, ilan yung members ng NPA ngayon, and what was their strength when ELCAC was established?
During the press conference last November 8, it was reported by the Chief of Staff that there are 1,111. I remembered it vividly kasi 1111 eh. And a little lower than that yung number of firearms nila. So when it started back in 2018, I don't have the figure. I only have the number of guerrilla fronts, 89 active guerrilla fronts.
Thank you, Yusek Torres. Right? Any more questions? Frankie Tuyay from Manila Times.
Good afternoon, sirs. Could you react on the cases filed by two activists before the Ombudsman against officials of ELCAC?
Yan. All right. Parang alam ko na kung sino sasagot nito. Oo. ADG Malaya, kindly respond.
Yes. Actually, ayaw kaming tigilan. No? In fact, I was named one of the respondents. Again. Buti pa si Idir. Yung organization. Yung akin, ako mismo. No? And kasama ko sila Colonel ng De La Cruz of the 7th Infantry Battalion. So when I was looking at the news reports yesterday, the cases that were filed against me, violation of RA 10353, involuntary disappearance, RA 9745, anti-torture, RA 74388, Rights of Persons Accused Act, violations of Article 124, 286 of the Revised Penal Code, arbitrary detention and grave coercion, administrative charges for grave misconduct, grave abuse of authority, oppression, conduct. Lahat na yata ng kaso, final na sa akin. No? At yung mga kasamahan namin dito sa Jed and Junila case. So, how do we see this case? Number one, it is a clear act of desperation on the part of the left. Bakit? Kung alam naman to ng lahat. The Court of Appeals, they went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court directed the Court of Appeals to conduct hearings. Kami po ni Idir, kami ni Joel, we were there. We were witnesses in a series of hearings conducted by the Court of Appeals. It was a full-blown trial. And what was the result of that Court of Appeals trial? No? The Court of Appeals resolved that the petitioners, in this case Jed and Junila, have not sufficiently proven by substantial evidence their entitlement to the privilege of the writ of amparo and habeas data. No? And sinasabi nila, the Court of Appeals also clearly stated that the petitioners failed to establish the existence of an imminent or continuing threat. The Court of Appeals that there is no evidence of state participation. The petitioners failed to prove that the respondents were responsible for their abduction. Lieutenant Colonel De La Cruz and Police Captain Buko can only be concluded that they have been impleaded by virtue of the doctrine of command responsibility within the context of an amparo proceeding. As to the writ of habeas data, the decision of the Court of Appeals was very clear. Petitioners have not demonstrated their entitlement to the right of informational privacy over a specific piece of information. So ang liwanag po ng decision ng Court of Appeals. And then, they filed a motion for reconsideration. Ayaw talagang tumigil. And in the MR, again, the Court of Appeals dismissed by a vote of 5-0. wala po ni isang justice ang sumunod sa kanila. No? The Court of Appeals again said that the evidence to prove petitioner's entitlement to the privilege of amparo is speculative. Absent proof of privacy interest in this case, petitioners cannot be said to have adduced substantial evidence in support of their petition. So, very clearly, the court said that the petitioner's heavy reliance on personal testimonies without corroborative evidence, let me again emphasize, the Court of Appeals said that there is no corroborative evidence, and their failure to describe the subject information with reasonable accuracy, the court is without basis to ascertain whether they are entitled to invoke their right to privacy insofar as the information is concerned. So, ano po ang, bakit na naman nagpunta sila sa ombudsman? Because this is an act of desperation on their part. No? Number two, this is also forum shopping. Pumunta sila sa korte, they went to the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, di ba? Hindi sila nakakuha doon. They now are looking for any venue to pin down and again pillory the National Task Force LCAC. Of course, the third reason why they have filed this case is to harass the NTF LCAC, the individuals that are listed as respondents. No, it's an harassment. For what? To intimidate? To ano pa kaya, sir? No? To intimidate, to threaten, no? Para tumahimik na kami. For us to back off whatever we're doing. And I think the other thing that is a reason why they filed these cases is for media mileage. No? They have candidates running for senator. They have candidates running for party list in the next election, and the filing of cases gives them the venue to capture extensive media mileage for them to portray themselves as the vendor of alleged environmentalists na hindi naman. So, I am of course disappointed, but with the help of our lawyers from the Legal Cooperation Cluster and the Office of the Solicitor General, we are going to face these charges squarely. No, we will face these charges squarely, and I have no doubt whatsoever that these harassment cases will be dismissed by the Office of the Ombudsman. So, ang pakiusap po na lang po sa ating mga kababayan, ipagdasal na lang kami. Kasi, evidently, given the very clear decision of the Court of Appeals, two decisions of the Court of Appeals, this is an harassment case, no, against the NTF LCAC by the same group, NUPL, Karapatan, all of the leftist groups that have banded together to pillory and put into doubt the credibility of the National Task Force LCAC. But I am confident that the truth will come out, and just like what happened in the Court of Appeals, we will be vindicated at the end. Salamat po.
Right. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Director.
Director Egco, may I just be given this opportunity to say something, because I really need to go to the AFCOC already, because the program is about to start at 2 o'clock, and some of our guests are already arriving. In fact, some of them were there already before I came here. Now, let me just say, in connection to what was stated by ADG Malaya a while ago, our chairperson for the Stratcom cluster. The NTF LCAC is the worst nightmare of the CPP, NPA, NDF. That is why, as you have mentioned, at every opportunity, they would like to have it abolished. But I would like to inform the public, we were assured by no less than the chairman, His Excellency President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., that it will stay, because it provides the genuine service to the Filipino people, particularly those who are most vulnerable to the deception of the CPP, NPA, NDF. For 6 years now, it was able to bring in the needed infrastructure in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. It was able to provide facilities for the education of these barangays. And likewise, it was able to provide the needed opportunity for our kababayans, our fellow Filipinos in far-flung areas, no, that were for so many decades somehow medyo na-neglect po sila. So it will continue on. We have now our roadmap focused on peace building and socio-economic development until we reach the objective of really empowering the people to be more resilient against the threat of terrorist group and other threat groups, but particularly the CPP, NPA, NDF. So we will now celebrate the successes, the achievements, and the partnerships that we had for the past 6 years later on at AFCOC, and with the permission of the attendees to this press conference, may I be excused and proceed to the next part of our program this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusek Torres. Excuse lang natin si boss. Sunod na lang kami doon. All right, so we still have ADG Malaya and Colonel Trinidad. If you have other questions, please feel free to ask them. If none naman, we're going to ask for their parting messages. Okay na? Chino, do you have? Okay na. Bianca? Yeah. Oh, ayan. Sige. Chino, Gaston.
Yung nangyayaring pagsasampa ng mga kaso ng mga kaliwang grupo laban sa NTF-ELCAC, and then yung general efforts against the government. Nakikita nyo rin ba yun na may confluence against the sinasabing mga destabilization efforts? Do you see them in that particular undertaking?
Yes, thank you, Chino. Ang ganda talaga ng mga tanong ni Chino. Ilang araw na yan, ha? Thank you for asking that question because I've wanted to address that question a long time ago. The Makabayan Bloc released a statement a few days ago that kami daw sa NTF-ELCAC consider the impeachment of Sara Duterte as a destabilization. We never said that the impeachment is destabilization. What we said was that the violent action by the left in Mindiola last Bonifacio Day is an attempt to manufacture a political crisis and create violence in the streets. Ang position lang po ng NTF-ELCAC napakalinaw. We agree with the President. We agree that the Makabayan's impeachment of VP Sara is a distraction from the more urgent issues facing the country. The President is correct. It will tie down the Senate. It will tie down the House. And the President is just concerned with addressing the needs of the Filipino people. Now, Makabayan's call for impeachment, nagpa-file sila ng impeachment left and right. Why are they doing that? Again, very clearly, it is political opportunism. Political opportunism and political mileage. And I also have a feeling that these cases that are being filed against us, is an attempt for us to stop criticizing them. No, but it's the role of the NTF-ELCAC as the organization that wishes to end local communist armed conflict in the country to expose this kind of modus operandi to the public. No? The concern of NTF-ELCAC, and in particular the National Security Council, is political stability, economic development, and national security. So any attempt by anyone to create violence, may nakita natin sa Bonifacio Day, nanggugulo sila doon, is something that alarms us. Now, the Makabayan Bloc, in criticizing the NTF-ELCAC, also said, buti na naalala ko, si Chino, talagang naano ko pag tinatanong mo ko. The Makabayan Bloc also said that the statements coming from NTF-ELCAC daw is an attack on the independence of Congress. Because Congress, supposedly, there is separation of powers between the executive, legislative, and the judiciary. And by criticizing their call, we are now attacking the independence of Congress. may I remind them, because I am also a professor of political science, besides the independence, there's also the concept of checks and balances. They may be co-equal branches of government, pero may checks and balances. Nagbabantayan po yung tatlong yan. That's why pag may bill na i-final ang congressman, pinapatawag ang mga secretary, mga undersecretary sa Kongreso para magtanong kung kayo ba ay sang-ayon sa bill na to. Congress cannot work on its own. Kaya pag merong bill na pumasa between the Senate and the House, it's sent to the President for signature. Why? Because there's this system of checks and balances. Nagbabantayan po sila. The budget of the executive branch is submitted to the legislative for approval. The bills made by Congress are submitted to the executive for approval. Ganun po yan. So when we expressed support for the President,